You can't keep a good man down, and our mouths just never stop flapping. What's up with you?
The sky, Norman.
The sky. Really? That's what you got? You're
Hey,
usually so much more creative than that. What happened? What happened? What happened?
You're not paying me enough money, Rob.
Well, I'll give you that. Jesus Christ, I ain't paying you enough money at all. No one's paying me enough.
Not even a dollar. Not even a
Yeah,
cent. Not even a
37.
pound. Not even a penny. You know,
Not even a penny for a pound.
that's what I'm saying. The difference in the UK and the United States. You know, the pound and the dollar. That's the start.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's just,
Your fucking food's better than ours, though.
well,
You know what I mean?
we don't shove everything inside of intestines. So, we have that going.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I can't honestly say I participated in eating shit like that because no,
Well,
let's face it, man. We know what goes through the intestinal tract. So why the fuck would you participate in fucking eating it after?
what part, who sat down one day and said, you know what? If we clean the shit out of this and shove some stomach inside of it, that probably tastes pretty goddamn good. And somebody else said, that's a great idea. Let's try that.
They've even used stuff like that, dude, as clothing. Would you believe that?
No, really? I guess that
No.
makes sense. It's so thick.
Yes, sir.
Maybe they'll start using like horse penises for mittens. Well, it keeps me warm.
I wouldn't bet against it. Not in this shit all over the country.
Oh,
2 videos, dude. We've done 2 videos within a 30 minutes apart.
yeah. Well, you inspired me. I watched you go online, and I was in stitches the whole goddamn time. I was like, all right,
inspire people. That's the
I'm gonna
thing. You know, I inspire people. That is a new thing.
It's a little disturbing that you inspired me. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I'm just saying that it happened.
Yes, sir. We've got a lot on, haven't we? We've got a lot coming these days. You know, I've had an hiatus. Not everything goes to plan these days, does it? But hey, we're working shit out. We're working shit out. Anti-social networks growing.
Yeah,
it's looking strong.
Mm-hmm.
We've got variety. We've got charisma. We've got different personalities.
Big balls
that know what they want to do.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? Like I said, contrary to what people think of me, I'm a very difficult person sometimes. Somewhat a bit of an arsehole. Not a bit, actually.
A bit, yeah.
But you know what? It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. Listened to some good material last week on here.
Yeah, they were pumping out some good shows last week.
Yeah. Big shout out to Sean. Enjoyed the show last night. Jeremy, man. Jeremy. Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
Wow. Tell you, that man's got some charisma.
He's got some talent.
It's spitting rhymes.
Him and Chansey are just a great pairing, man.
Oh, dude. He was spitting rhymes. Unbelievable. And you know what? That was didn't write shit like that down. That was off the cuff.
What do you call it? He called it rhymes that only white people like, or some shit like that. It was great.
Yes, sir.
And Vanessa and Ashley, you're doing their bit. It's
Hey,
it's fun. It's enthralling. It's got sex appeal, humor. It's got all that important shit in entertainment.
two very, very pretty ladies doing what they enjoy and piquing the male man's interest.
Little bit. I had a great time when I did one of Sean's ICP music. Jeremy's ICP music bracket show, and that's the first time that I met Vanessa. She was kind of placed right underneath me on the screen. And I figured, okay, we're going to talk about ICP. That's cool. I'm knowledgeable about it, but I got to make this a little bit more fun. So I spent the rest of the show just flirting with Vanessa. Like when he'd say, what do you think about this song versus this song? I said, I don't know, baby. What do you think I should say?
I think I flirt with both of them.
Yeah, you got to. Well, actually, wasn't on that show.
100%.
Yeah. And then JD Stevens, she's that stand-up comedian out in California. She's getting ready to launch her show off. I fucked up, and it's going to be okay. I love that title.
I like the title. Yeah, I like that.
And of course, let's not forget about Lee, and his UK boxing show. I haven't seen him around for a little bit, but he'll be back.
It's I like the fact that there's material and there's shows on this network that are all about lifestyle. I want to say lifestyle. I want to say lifestyle. I want to say lives. I want to say giving back. Giving a fuck about people, even though it's called a anti-social network.
Right.
There's a lot of care and that goes into these shows that actually care about people in general.
Sure.
Well,
we're all entertainers. The reason that we're all going under the anti-social network is not because we're all about fuck you and fuck everybody else. No. It's because this is the place you can come to escape the norm and the constructs that other networks try to put onto you. I mean, they act like the fucking FCC is regulating.
Lock everything down. Bitches about your material. If you leave, they own rights to it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Podcasting, right? Podcasting is a very, very selfish, self-centered world at times. You watch some of these. There's a lot. You don't see a lot of networks around anymore, and that's probably why.
Right. I've only really put my foot down since starting this network just one time. And we're not going to get into those specifics, but people can come at me with the craziest ideas of things they want to do. And most of the time I'm like, let's throw that shit against the wall and see if it sticks. Only one time have I said just no. And I'm not trying to control you. I'm just trying to say for us, I feel like that's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't feel. I think there's a certain sense of naivety as well in podcasting these days.
Sure.
People just think that they can, set up an account, buy a camera, buy a mic, and they don't know what goes on in this world. The algorithm world. Where every fucking wants a slice of the pie now. You've got your TikToks, every which way you turn with social media. People are going, I'll do live videos, I'll be getting paid.
Right.
It's really not that simple.
And the thing is, these people, they don't have enough. I don't know if it's confidence or passion or whatnot, but It's the very same challenge I've made to Leatherfat or Leatherfake. God damn it, Leatherfuck. What's that guy's name? Anyway,
Waste of space.
I've told that dude, I've challenged him to just turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, have a couple of topics, and by yourself do a 30-minute show.
Yeah.
And he can't. If he can't get somebody to be on his show with him, he just doesn't do it.
There's a lot of carrying, you know. I mean, I don't. I'm confident. I'm a confident person in, you know, what I can do and what I can't do. I mean, I like working with people. I'm more than capable of doing shit on my own. But I like conversing with people, you know. But some people they get into this, or they want to get into this, and they can't swim with sharks. They're forever paddling, you know. They're forever paddling. They only like to stand in the water with up to their knees, you know. And that's not their fault. That's not their fault at all. You know, but there's a certain sense of, how'd you put it? You can't give constructive criticism to some people. You don't want to know, you know. There really isn't, you know. There's not room to maneuver with some people. I've worked with them. I've worked with some very, very, very good people in part of the podcasting world, and then I've worked with people that, you know, can do a podcast by all means, but they won't be told that. For instance, I'll give you an example. I won't plug them. I won't mention the name because they don't deserve the time of day. But we used to do this thing on a podcast, and I mentioned it earlier on Straight Up. Group people that I've got on the side, like I said, I'm not. My success is our success. That's exactly how it goes. Every person that I've got that's a follower on the Straight Up Wrestling podcast and Straight Up Wrestling podcast discussions on Facebook, everything goes through there, and anti-social network goes through there. So we're all winners. But I've said something on there earlier on, and I think something that, you know, I feel strongly about, and I feel that people would, you know, we all like different things in life, you know. And I was listening to Sean last night. I actually spoke to you the other day, and I said, for fuck's sake, I'm gonna have to find someone else to get employed because every fuck is doing what I do. And Sean was talking wrestling last night, and I was thinking, you know what? That we've got a lot of people that like the same things. So it got me thinking, and I was like, you know what? When I used to be part of a podcast, we used to do promo battles.
Yeah.
You know, you're a veteran of the wrestling world. Chris Casanova is a veteran of the wrestling world. And I just like to talk shit. And I just got thinking, you know what? Maybe once, like wrestling does their pay-per-views, maybe once every couple of months, we put together a special show where we, you know, get a bunch of guests, and each guest cuts a promo on another guest, you know. And I was just thinking, you know, them sort of things that would be kind of cool. Get a champion or something at the end of it.
where the champion defends his title and things like that somewhere down the line. I just thought, we need to be bringing in, we're gonna grow. We will grow. And with growing, there has to be fun. You can't stay and play the safe game in podcasting.
No, certainly not.
You can't stay safe. You can't continuously put out the same material week after week after week, which is why I pulled away from wrestling podcasts because they're very samey. I was listening last night.
Much all the same. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk. They want to review what happened on Raw and SmackDown. Well, Jesus Christ! Everybody watched what happened. Why?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Listen, when you're watching a WWE product, we know how wrestling gets booked, and we know all these things. So it isn't really. There's never any, or relatively any, new content week after week. I was listening to you and Sean last night talking, and I liked your reaction to Sean's question about the who's basically the GOAT when it comes to tag teams and that. And I was of the same opinion as you. I mean, granted, we have got, you have your favorites, but when it comes to obviously the best of, how do you said, how do you put over? If you were going to do a tournament bracket involving, Midnight Express, Brainbusters, Doom, fucking Legion of Doom, or Road Warriors / Legion of Doom.
Yeah, they'd have to all be schmozzes.
You know what I mean? If you did that bracket, how do you determine the last team standing?
Right.
Tag team wrestling. I'm a firm believer in this. Right. When I got into wrestling in the 80s, the very, very first was the likes of World of Sport. And when I got into it properly, wasn't probably until, and this I mean solidly watching, was probably around 1991. Now, I was a huge Jake Roberts fan, huge Razor Ramon fan. I remember seeing Razor Ramon's first, freaking pro. What you call him, Vignette, and I just fell in love with the man straight away.
Right.
But when you think, about the fucking hell, you know what? I harp on sometimes and I forget what the fuck I'm saying.
We were talking about trying to pick. We went from the brackets idea to the best teams and whatnot.
And I just thought, how is that possible to eliminate even just one tag team that made you smile or impacted on your life? Do you know what I mean? Tag team wrestling used to be, as well as the Intercontinental, every bit as important as the title.
Well, it was the title. It was just the tag team titles. Like, thank God they never did for a while a lower tag team, at least in WWF. They did World Intercontinental Tag Team, but tag team was the World Championship of tag teams.
Mm-hmm. They looked the business as well. I mean, I was looking last night, yesterday afternoon, funny enough,
Just old titles. And I got lucky. I got lucky at the tag team titles. I think at the time, I think it was the Dudley Boys rolled in them with Stacy Keibler was with the Dudley, and I was looking at them titles and I was like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of large plates on belts. You know, I like to think that I no fucker wears belts around the waists anymore.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that, man? I'll tell you this. You only ever saw me with a belt slung over my shoulder if it was a backstage promo. If I'm walking to that ring and I'm a champion, I am wearing that belt because it's a fucking belt. So wear that championship with pride. People who cocky throw them over their shoulders, they just kind of carry them one-handed swung low. Fuck that guy. Take that belt away from him. Did you
I just don't get
it. Flair not wearing his belt? He either was wearing it or he was holding it right there. Boom, there it is. That's what it's about.
I mean, it's like I say, you know what I mean? It was a thing. You never seen that dude in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
You never
when Bubba Ray was remember he would strap it around his neck? I found that so offensive.
It was that one that always like you got like the belt buckles, and they would literally put the buckles on the buckles of two belts and like wear it like a necklace.
Yeah.
Well, whoever came up with that thing that, you know, and that stigma which is stuck, and people just continuously carry two belts. They need shooting.
People shouldn't have two belts. It bastardizes the concept of a belt.
It does. I mean, you know, watching obviously, you know, Roman Reigns carry these titles, it's just got silly. Just got silly. I was watching something, right, and I was thinking, fucking hell, we're spoiled these days as wrestling. You know, if you're a wrestling fan in general, you're spoiled rotten.
You think so? I think you're abused if you're a wrestling fan nowadays. You're being force-fed slop instead of steak like we used to get.
Yeah. Tony Khan. There we go. That's a that's a guy fucking delivering slop.
Because he is slop.
Absolute fucking idiot. You know what? I think when I look at the state of professional wrestling, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it is where it is. No one seems to ever learn from the last guy's mistake.
Yeah. You know what blew me away? I was really shocked that Punk didn't just at that interview, at that press conference table. I'm just surprised he didn't backhand Khan right across his fucking mouth. Like,
it's right. I've watched that. I've watched that a few times. That interview, you know, because people say, "Oh, it was a work." It was never a work, man.
It was not a work.
CM Punk has never done a fucking work in his life. He ain't Rob, is he? Let's be fair. The guy is real to the core.
Yeah.
You know, he's got no qualms.
He's his version of real.
I mean, the guy
doesn't on a different level than what I like to call reality.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a problem with telling people exactly what he thinks, right? Because the guy knows. At the end of the day, he's getting paid, and he hasn't got to make anyone happy.
Right.
It's not a case. He goes back to his wonderful life with his wonderful wife, and he's got money. He's happy in general. He's content with what he's got. Everything else is just a bonus, you know?
And like I said to Sean last night about Punk, like, I don't like him at all, personally. but I've just got undying amounts of respect for the man. And for the very thing you just said, he whether he's wrong or he's right, in his head, it's how he sees it, and he's gonna fucking let you know.
Well, I say, I mean, but the whole situation that's led to him, you know, having this hiatus, or regardless what's going on, he's not been released from the contract because it would cost him too much fucking money.
Right.
The money that I'm reading or I've read and I've heard is to get Punk out of his contract, which is until 2025, which I was surprised by. Very surprised that you would give someone like Phil Brooks a contract
for 3
for
years.
that long.
Yeah.
But it's not. It wasn't a full-time rolling contract. It was more appearanced. We know Punk. We knew Punk in WWE. He wrestled for a long period of time, and then he'll take a few months off. Wasn't the case in WWE because it nearly fucking killed him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fact. That's fact. The staph infection nearly killed the guy. You know, but with this contract, they were talking in the region of around $25 million.
Oh, is it that high?
Stupid money. Stupid
last
money.
thing I read on it said it was $12 million, and that almost knocked me in my chair.
Like you say, Rex, the rest of the business and fucking the way there's always multiple sources. I think I read this. I think I read it was something to do with I think it was Brian Fernandez the kind of put something around it with the Wrestling Observer. I don't know, you know, it is what it is. If you're stupid enough to sign a guy that's body is broken down and has been on the shelf for more than fucking 8 years, and you know what I mean?
And his last real appearance was him getting the fuck beat out of him, MMA style.
Yeah. He's had multiple surgeries. His back, he's got a glass back. That's not his fault. That's the fact of he's took bumps. And he wrestled that fucking idiot right back. It's a complete botch job. But you know, when it comes to him, I just think that press conference, he said things that we're not wrong about three people. And Tony Khan sat there and he just nodded his head, and I just thought, nothing. You've got no control over your own company.
Yeah, none.
You haven't. You've got no control.
But yet he still expects the respect level that Vince gets. Get the fuck out of here with that.
He don't get any respect. He shouldn't get any respect.
No, he shouldn't.
No. Why should he get? Listen, there's giving the guy respect as a person, and then there's giving the guy respect for the business that he's part of. He hasn't got a fucking clue what he's doing. He's got
because he was given he just said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a wrestling promoter. Can I have $20 million to get started?" Sure. Then he probably went out and picked up a few bullshit little time investors so he could secure the legend minds that he got. So he started off on the right track. Daddy was giving him money. He was putting it with the right people to help make the right moves. But that didn't last very goddamn long. Now, did it?
He spent a shit ton of money, dude.
And let's be fucking fair, he's got nothing to show for it.
No, he does. He's got a little wrestling company that, is his ridiculous. I mean, okay. Hulk Hogan is rich and Tony Khan is very rich, but Tony Khan's dad is wealthy.
Wealthy. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah,
so
they
he's
are
relying
different.
on daddy's massive wealth to continue to fund this, just like Dixie Carter relied on Panda Energy to keep funding TNA, and eventually Daddy Khan is the same thing. Daddy,
it's a wet dream. That's what I like in that promotion too, and I just think when that company started, I think, when did it start? Was it 2018? Its first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing or All In? It was one of them. When that company first started, it was worth something.
It had stock.
It was worth something. You looked at it because at the time, WWE was getting absolutely fucking annihilated by fans. Impact Wrestling wasn't freaking watchable.
Right.
Ring
of Honor was going down.
Ring of Honor was going down. New Japan Pro Wrestling was doing the same thing it's done for the last freaking 12 years, and that's relying on a faction that was ripped off the NWO. So this company came along with such a
above average chance of success.
It was wow. And I've got so much admiration and respect for Dusty Rhodes. So when Cody and Dustin went to AEW, Cody first, obviously Dustin followed a bit later on. It just made me smile because even in New Japan, Cody just looked like he always wanted to give something back. He reminded me a lot of his dad.
Well, I was going to say, Cody is a Rhodes. And if you have Rhodes after your first name, you are going to be good in wrestling.
Yeah. I just felt, everything. I don't know what went on after. Something obviously wasn't right for him in AEW anymore. And I think that was with the. I want to just take a punt and go with the three fucking people that think the shit doesn't stink. There's people that wanna help wrestling and be a wrestler, and then there's these people that play wrestling. Cody put that. Fucking, you look at how many people Cody put over in that company.
Oh yeah.
How many, and he didn't get a fucking sniff at that world title.
I don't think he wanted it.
No. And he's been quite open in recent interviews with WWE where he has stated that it's still his baby. But he had unfinished business and he wants to be the first Rhodes to lift the world title. The title that evaded his father, that Dusty Rhodes was every bit as good to lift that title. I
don't know if I'm with you on that one, Butcher.
Really?
I think Dusty Rhodes was one of those Jimmy Snuka, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake caliber workers who carried the whole show and never needed a belt to get over. So
me and you are going to completely agree there. right?
All right.
I've always, and there's proof in podcasts that I've always said it. There's a, no, not minority. There's a majority of wrestlers that have worked in the 80s and in the 90s that didn't need to win
That's right.
a coveted gold title to be identified as fucking class act athletes.
Right, to be recognized as a great one.
Ted DiBiase, Kurt
Hell yeah.
Hennig, you know, dude,
True.
I could, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. Contrary to what people
Baby
think
boy.
of Scott, right, and his addictions and his demons, guy was a fucking phenomenal worker.
Mhm.
I've never seen a guy just watch him, just he just used to blow me away.
And he would get you right from when the music came on. He would step through those ropes and he'd just look around the ring, and everybody suddenly got quiet, just waiting for, hey, yo. That's it. Then they lost their fucking minds.
You sit there and you like you said, you're going, say it. Yeah. When he came back, dude, and I'm so glad that, God rest his soul, he got that moment to be inducted. But and I can actually say that when I heard that man take that man, and it's just, good times don't last, but bad guys do.
Bad times come. Bad times come and bad times go. But
just to see him smile,
and he always smiled at wrestling. He loved it. He loved being in the business. Even at indie shows, he just loved it.
The famous stance with his arms spread out.
Mm-hmm.
The guy oozed charisma.
He oozed machismo.
And he was one of them guys that didn't need it. I'm happy that Eddie Guerrero did get it, because Guerrero, the guy that a lot of people, we don't say his name, through the horrible shit that went on. But they worked for a promotion that were very guys, and fucking they were just building factions with 20 odd members and putting the titles on the same fucking guys that didn't need it anymore. The Hulk Hogan's, but titles were just thrown around willy-nilly, and they still are.
You know what? I'm gonna sidetrack you real quick, and I just want to say, for public record, it's gonna stir up some people and get them pissed off. But I don't believe for a goddamn second Benoit did it. Not for a fucking second. There is just no evidence that suggests that he actually did that. In fact, and I've paid real close attention, the evidence suggests the complete opposite. Because let's just examine a couple of quick facts. Chris was atheist. Chris did not believe in God. He believed in the presence of the idea of God. That kind of, like he told me once, he says, Rob, do you know what makes a good person a good person? I didn't have any idea. Huh?
You met Chris.
Yeah. And he said, fear. Fear is what keeps people good people. fear of going to jail, fear of the concept of God, fear of what negatives are going to hit your life for not doing what society dictates. But he didn't believe in God. So to say that he took a couple of Bibles and put them at his wife and child's feet makes no sense. Chris Benoit would have never owned a Bible. He would have never bought a Bible because he didn't believe in God. Now, I can believe that maybe he snapped out and killed that whore wife of his. I could see that as maybe being possible. But to say he killed that child, that he walked away for years from the only business he knows to take care of that sick kid, to nurse him back to health, then to say you killed that child, and people go, oh, well, he wasn't himself. Okay, fine. Let's just say that perhaps he did kill the kid too. You can't kill somebody with the crippler crossface. That move is as fake as they fucking come, all right? You cannot kill somebody with the crippler. Period.
You know what, right? You know when you I'm not a professional wrestler, but I grew up watching wrestling, and you obviously participate in putting your mate in a hold and these things, right? Now, you're not supposed to obviously try these things at home. We get that. But there are certain moves where the human body, for instance, I'm 5'8". If I performed a move on someone that was over 6 foot, I've kind of got more. I'd like to think that it's simple mathematics. I could maneuver that person at 6 foot plus, and I've got more kind of
leverage.
I can stretch it further. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at. But if I had the crossface put on me, and I'm a big guy. You know, you're not gonna be able to. You can fight it, you know,
but you don't need to because it's a work.
Yes, yeah, I don't see how it could hurt you or break you.
It can't. Now let's move one more step on this Benoit train, okay? I find it, after knowing the man, completely impossible, unrealistic, not happening. That he would send a text message to his friends saying, the dogs are put away, the garage door is open, I need to see you, can you come over? So they would find his hanging body. He would not.
Chavo?
Huh? Yeah, he would not do that to his real friends. He wouldn't do that to somebody. So all of this fucking stinks. Now, before anybody starts sending me some messages going, it was Kevin Sullivan, right? No, fuck you. That's stupid. It was not Kevin Sullivan. I don't know what it was, but what it was so deeply inlaid and personal that it broke out of anything that your traditional investigation is really going to connect the dots on. All they know is they found what? A dead wife, a dead child, a hanging Chris, and some kind of a fucking note. And all these things that didn't add up to the man's personality, which they blamed on brain damage. You remember when his dad went on the news and went, look, you guys have made your decision. Let's just go with that so we can put it to bed and I can
put it to bed. Yeah.
So they're like, people go, oh, his dad admitted it. No, the fuck he did not. His dad just wanted the murder of his son.
Some sort of closure where the family could. Well, listen, that is never ever going to go away. You know, that is never going to be forgotten by his family. I've heard people saying that his family was selfish and all these things. Listen, whether or not, no one will ever know the truth. We can all say, I don't like to think that he could have been guilty. That's not me saying he's guilty or he's not. You know, I look at things and
I'm one of these people that says because you take steroids or you took steroids doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have that negative reaction, and it's
Right.
going to affect your temperament. Okay.
If you cycle correctly, you avoid all those roid rage issues.
Yeah, exactly. It's not necessarily guaranteed. There is evidence that it can occur, but it's
Right.
not guaranteed.
And look at
And-
Benoit's physique. So whatever cycles he was doing them correctly because he never had those unfortunate physical repercussions like the bitch tits and things like that. He was doing his cycles correctly.
You know what I say though, right? You know what I say to all these fucking people that want to burn the guy and burn his name. Think that how that guy got to the position where he was relying on painkillers and everything else, and the guy still after multiple neck surgeries, he never changed his fucking wrestling style. He didn't believe in that. He didn't believe. I personally, I don't give a fuck what people think about it. There's a shit ton of. Listen, he was a high-profile character, and in selfish business that is professional wrestling, controversy makes fucking money.
Yeah.
Controversy makes money. I don't, like I said, I don't like to think. I admire the guy. I respect the fuck out of him. And honestly, shoot me down or whatever. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference to me. I don't. But I don't like to think that he did it at all. And I think there's a part of me that doesn't believe he did it. Because as wrestling fans, the terminology wrestling fake, right? Say wrestling fake. That guy could have, if he was as sadistic as everyone has made out, and it would, Rob, take someone of a very, very unbalanced nature
to do what they say he did.
To commit that crime. That crime would take planning. It would take someone. Do you know what? He could probably kill, like you just said, he could probably kill woman, right? He could probably kill her and not batter an eyelid. But the boy.
Right.
Children are a gift. I've seen pictures and evidence of him with his family. And even I just look at it and I just think, what type of human being could switch off any emotion that would require that sort of animalistic?
But their reasoning,
that's what it is, isn't it?
The reasoning was the level of brain damage. That was their justification to saying he acted so far out of his character. But still, with that kind of brain damage, like you said, it was not a crime of passion. It was not a fit of rage. It was carefully planned.
That's right. They said that the guy had seizures.
Right.
Okay. So if the guy had seizures, we know now, due to obviously some of these things that have happened over the years, that wrestling has got very, very tight in terms of to protect, not to protect the wrestlers, but to protect the company.
Right.
You know,
It's a business.
that's what I firmly believe. Insurance doesn't cover that type of shit anymore. So, you know, Chris, that move, the flying headbutts and things like that, I have no idea how much of an impact that made, you know, on the shoulder, because that's what it used to look. You know, it never he never used to hit, you know, obviously in the head, but I'm trying to think of a way because I really don't want a backlash from this. It's not like me, is it? I like to think that
Look at this. Rob Wiles completely agrees with me.
Rob Wild, legend, what a guy.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you chiming in. I love that.
What a guy. You know, I like to think that you know what, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because it's a guaranteed backlash.
Yep. But
It-
I'll
it's
say it.
not-
I love backlash. Fuck you if you got something nasty to say. I'll send me a nasty email. I'll come right back on the air and I'll blow your spot up. I'll read your email. I'll give you your username. I'll blow you up. So be careful what you say to me.
He's prepped people. Yes, that guy there.
That guy, this fucking guy.
You know, I don't like to think of it, you know, because it's like I just look at it that they died doing, you know, we lost people that got us into the business, and you know,
At a
I just think it's easy
disproportionately
to
young
point
age.
the finger, and like I said, make judgments on what supposed medical evidence. Don't tell me for a second that guy hadn't had MRIs and ECGs, and he was if his brain showed that much scarring, how was he allowed back into the ring?
I don't doubt that the medical evidence in the case that was presented was 100% valid. That's not what I'm questioning. What I'm questioning is what the police tried to use as their crime scene physical evidence. The Bible's at their feet. She was bound and tied, and the kid was killed with the crippler. And just these sophomoric fucking theories they were throwing against the wall because they didn't have anybody to actually charge. There was nobody at the time they could find to try to punish for the crime. So rather than just like write it off and let it go, the actual police, the ones that we were all raised to supposed to respect and revere, just committed a character assassination on the man with no real evidence. It doesn't matter what you know. It matters what you can prove. And they couldn't
said, you know, like we said, planning. You don't just wake up, dude, and do that.
Because it didn't happen that way. Yeah. Now
you don't wake up, you don't come home from the gym.
Chris is getting into the Hall of Fame this year, so that suggests that the powers that be have finally accepted the fact, or even maybe they even accepted at the beginning, but they're finally moving past it. Like Chris Benoit is a Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, there is no reason why he shouldn't be.
Right.
At the end of the day, let's separate
I mean,
the
isn't
two
OJ still
people.
in the Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
Of course he is. It's like this is another podcast in itself. The fucking WWE All of Bollocks.
Yeah, Hall of Stupid.
You're refusing to induct one Joni Lawler, yeah,
They are.
because of her job away from the ring, but you're happily
Talking about the porn.
induct Tammy Stitch.
Talking about the porn.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know. Oh man, wow, that bothers me that you just said that. Yeah, they're gonna put. They're gonna put Tammy in. Isn't she in prison right now?
Yeah, Tammy's already been in. Yeah, exactly. That's for me. Tammy Stitch.
Yeah. Okay.
She was inducted back in 2017, I think it was, and she sold her fucking ring in 2018. But Tammy Stitch was taking cock a lot. You know what I mean? But you're not going to go induct Joni Lawler. But then what you'll do in a foul swoop, right, is we will attack this very, very clever. What we're gonna do is we're gonna induct Joni, and we're gonna give her an honorable mention, but she's gonna be inducted as DX.
Huh.
See where I'm going?
That's got me. Look. It's you can't see, but that actually made the hair on my arm stand
No,
up.
you're going to induct her as DX, and that's the safest fucking way we can do this. And not just that. That's not the reason why we're ignoring it. We're ignoring it because fucking one Stephanie McMahon had a personal issue with Joni Lawler because of her relationship or once relationship with one Paul Levesque. For me, I was sat there the other day watching, right, and I like to. It's very, very hard to, liken people to other people because no one has ever been likened to Joni Lawler China until Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was sat there the other day and I said to my mate, I said, she's going to have the fucking IC title put on it. He said, they won't do it. I said, it'll be done. I said, mark my words. I said, it's going to happen. If they keep her red hot, I said, and start putting titles on Judgment Day. I said, I wasn't big on Judgment Day when they first started, but I said, they've grown on me. It's organic. It's good. Do you know what I mean? They're edgy. Dominic Mysterio, dude, he's grown. You can see it. When you give someone give someone the run of the mill, but China held that IC title. Tell me why she can't be inducted.
I'll tell you, Tammy is a very nasty person. Tammy has not left any kinds of warm fuzzies, I don't think, in anybody who's currently breathing who knows her. I think she's just kind of a piece of garbage. Joni, on the other hand, had just as bad a demons as Tammy had. And she covered up those demons, not sexually, but with substances. And Tammy chose to cover it up by fucking everybody and getting high and drunk all the time.
Oh, she treats a kid Candido like shit, for fuck's sake.
Now, China had been the most revolutionary and kind of trend-setting force in women's pro wrestling since Moolah. So
Yeah.
for anybody to say that China is not, oh man, that really fucking upsets me. Not really. Okay.
Dude, if that doesn't hit a nerve as to any wrestling fan,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with it.
I
Because
think maybe Wrestle Shoot needs to start a campaign, some kind of a signature campaign.
well,
What are you doing?
the fucking world should start a campaign, dude, because whether you're a football fan or any fan of anything, you watch it because you love it. And if that woman didn't genuinely make you smile, you know, her impact to start with, the DX, interfering in matches, you know, breaking away from DX and going on her own, you know, so much so that she went from a person that was, I like to think of as, you know, she was you know, very much to start with, a person in the background. But then she grew into this character and this person that was helping others. Fucking the cat, you know, a relationship. I can't remember what her real name is. I think she was in a relationship with Jen Lawler, you know, and watching the relationship, you know, with others. Eddie Guerrero, you know, lifting the IC title, feuding with, you know, Chris Jericho. Jericho, for fuck's sake, put her over. Not WWE. Vince McMahon said you have to. Jericho put her over.
So did come on, Jarrett. Jarrett put her over.
You know, they put her over. And they didn't put her over just because they had to. Because she could hold her own in a fucking male environment.
And you know, it really goes even. Let's push farther ahead than that. You remember that there was one particular episode where when Right to Censor was doing their thing, and then Rock came out,
Yeah,
China came
yeah.
out, and then Billy Gunn came out with a plate of pie. He's like, Rock, I love pie. And he's eating it. Like, but when China came out, that feel good that hit you, because you know, Ivory is just the shit. Ivory's probably my favorite. Her and Paige.
I love that woman.
Yeah.
I love that.
The way she sold it and the way they worked together when they had their match that night. I mean, you know, Ivory tried real hard to re-legitimize women's wrestling with Molly Holly and shit like that. But when China hit it, all of a sudden it got the male dominance respect that Molly and Ivory were trying to get.
Yeah.
So, oh shit, look at this. We're well over an hour, man. We should probably go ahead and take this out.
Right. People, right, we've gone over. If you want to see me and the Wild Man, right, talk more about do you know what? This could be a fucking show in itself. Who wants to see a show with me and the Wild Man doing WWE Hall of Fame inductions? But there's got every induction, the best bits, and we might even talk about the shit bags that shouldn't be in it.
Like Vince's limo driver?
Yeah. And Pete Rose.
Yeah.
And Drew Carey.
Drew Carey, no. You know what? I'm going to give Drew Carey his spot there because the way he performed in the Royal Rumble brought that huge celebrity factor that they wanted. And the way when Kane hit the ring, he just tossed himself over the top and took a it was completely flawless. Drew Carey, you deserve your spot there, in my opinion.
But yeah, you know what, people, we're gonna put together a campaign for Johnny Lawler to be inducted because it's a sin in itself that she isn't on her own.
I consider it unacceptable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Butcher.
I'm Wild Thing, Rob Wild.
You know. And
sorry.
see, and yeah, we're out.
We're out. Later, people.